You're tuned in to Pyrocryptic X News, daily crypto coverage on the networks that matter. XRP, XLM, XDC, and many others. Let's get into it.
XRP futures ETFs, greenlit. Bitcoin eyes, 124K. Crypto world buzzes. Pyrocryptic X News is on the air. Welcome, crypto enthusiasts, to Pyrocryptic X News, your express source for the critical movements in the digital asset space. It's April 29th, 2025, and we're cutting through the noise today.
Absolutely. We've got some major headlines that could really impact your investments. Big news on the regulatory front, particularly for XRP.
Yeah, let's jump right into that. The US SEC has given the green light to ProShares for 3 XRP futures ETFs. They're set to launch tomorrow, April 30th.
That's right, and this comes after, that first XRP futures ETF from Tucrium, which launched earlier this month, April 8th. That one apparently saw a terrific response.
Really set the stage then. So ProShares is bringing what exactly?
Well, they've got 3 products lined up. The Ultra XRP ETF, that's 2x leverage. Then there's a Short XRP ETF at minus 1x.
Betting against it.
Exactly. And an Ultra Short XRP ETF, which is minus 2x leverage. So options for both bulls and bears.
And these all track the price through the XRP index, right?
Yeah.
So it's about betting on the price without actually needing to hold the tokens yourself.
Precisely. It offers a regulated way in, which is often appealing, for certain types of investors, maybe institutions too.
Has this already moved the needle on XRP's price?
It seems like it, yeah. XRP saw about a 3.5% increase over the last 24 hours. It's sitting around $2.27 now.
And that's interesting because most other top cryptos actually saw declines, didn't they? Except maybe Bitcoin.
Correct. XRP bucked the trend there. Its market cap is now over $312 billion, so it's definitely sparked some positive sentiment.
And this must feel like a pretty significant win for Ripple, especially, given all their past history with the SEC.
Oh, absolutely. Things certainly seem to have improved under the current, more crypto-friendly administration, relatively speaking.
Didn't Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse recently talk about the SEC dropping its appeal in their lawsuit?
He did, subject to the commission's vote and approval, of course, but he declared, quite strongly, the case has ended, it's over. Called it a historic victory.
Wow. That previous ruling, the one saying XRP sold on secondary markets wasn't a security, that was huge. So this resolution, plus the ETFs, it feels like it could have wider ripple effects, no pun intended.
I mean, it really could. Getting clarity around XRP, especially with these approved investment vehicles, might set a precedent for how other tokens traded on exchanges are viewed, potentially opening doors.
Okay, let's shift gears then. Bitcoin. There's a pretty bold prediction floating around.
Yes, prominent crypto analyst Xmeci, he's suggesting Bitcoin could reach $124,000.
$124,000. Wow. What's he basing that on?
He's using something called the Golden Ratio Multiplier price model. It involves moving averages, specifically the 350-day moving average, the 350 DMA.
Right, the average price over the last 350 days.
Exactly, and Fibonacci ratios. The idea is to use these to spot potential market tops or, conversely, good times to accumulate.
Okay, so where are we now according to this model?
Well, Bitcoin recently retested that 350 DMA, which was around $77,000. It dipped a bit, down to $75,000, but then rebounded quite strongly, actually rallying up to $96,000 at one point.
So a strong bounce off that moving average.
A very strong bounce. And according to Xmeci's reading of this Golden Multiplier ratio, Bitcoin is now headed for 1.6 times the 350 DMA.
And 1.6 times that $77,000 level puts us.
Right around that $124,000 mark. That's the current calculation based on the moving average.
And historically, what does hitting that 1.6 multiplier suggest?
Historically, when Bitcoin gets near or pushes above that level in the model, it's often signaled the end of an accumulation phase. The period where smart money might be buying in relative quiet.
And the start of a stronger, more pronounced bullish trend.
That's the historical correlation, yes. But important context here. Another analyst, Ali Martinez, reported something interesting about miners.
Oh, what's that?
As prices surged past $94,000 recently, Bitcoin miners apparently realized nearly $18.60 million in profits.
So some profit taking from the miners who got in early or have lower costs?
Exactly. Some sell pressure coming from that side, which is, pretty normal after a big run-up.
But to threat that, the overall feeling is still bullish.
It seems so. The momentum looks strong, and factors like the continued strong inflows into the spot Bitcoin ETFs are likely providing solid support.
And where is Bitcoin trading right now?
At the time we're recording, it's hovering around, $94,393 on Bitcoinist, $94,094 on Crypto.news. So down just slightly over the past day, but holding most of those recent gains.
Okay, so XRP ETFs approved. Bitcoin looking bullish according to some models. What else is happening out there? Let's talk global adoption.
Right. There are some interesting moves happening on that front, too. The founders of World Liberty Financial, WLFI, they recently met with Binance co-founder Changpeng Zhao, or CZ.
Oh, interesting. Where was this?
In Abu Dhabi. The talks were apparently focused on growing global crypto adoption and maybe setting some new industry standards. It sounds like part of WLFI's strategy to expand into new markets.
Makes sense. And they're not just talking, right? They're making concrete moves.
Seems like it. WLFI also signed a letter of intent, an LOI, with the Pakistan Crypto Council.
Pakistan. Why Pakistan specifically?
Well, Pakistan is actually noted as one of the world's fastest growing crypto markets. They supposedly have over 25 million active users and something like $300 billion in annual transactions.
Wow, okay. That's a significant market. So the goal is?
To promote blockchain, DeFi, stablecoin adoption there. They're looking at things like regulatory sandboxes, asset tokenization. WLFI also apparently met with senior Pakistani leaders, including the prime minister.
So, high-level engagement.
Definitely seems that way. And adding to WLFI's momentum, DWF Labs, they're a big market maker and Web3 investment firm, just bought $25 million worth of WLFI governance tokens.
$25 million. That's serious backing.
It is. It's part of DWF's own U.S. expansion strategy, and they plan to support WLFI's DeFi products, like their USD1 stablecoin.
And do we know what WLFI is actually holding, asset-wise?
Yeah, Arkham data suggests WLFI holds over $102 million in crypto assets. Things like USDC, wrapped Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron. A decent mix.
Okay, so quite a lot going on. Let's maybe recap the key takeaways here.
Sure. First, XRP gets a big regulatory boost with these futures ETFs getting the nod. That sparked price action and, renewed optimism around Ripple.
Right. Second, Bitcoin's bullish outlook seems intact for now. We have that $124,000 prediction from the Golden Ratio model, even with some expected minor profit taking. ETF inflows remain key there.
And third, global adoption isn't just talk. We see players like WLFI making strategic moves, meeting with key figures like CZ, and targeting massive growing markets like Pakistan, backed by significant investment from firms like DWF Labs.
It really paints a picture of an industry that's, maturing on multiple fronts: regulation, market analysis, and global expansion.
Exactly. Regulatory shifts, technical price models, real-world adoption efforts. They're all feeding into this dynamic landscape we're seeing.
So here's maybe a final thought for you, our listeners, to chew on as these stories develop. With the regulatory ground shifting and major players pushing hard for global reach, what kind of new opportunities or maybe even new disruptions could emerge in this next chapter of crypto adoption?
That's the big question, isn't it? What comes next?
Indeed. Keep your eyes on Pyrocryptic X News. We'll bring you the updates as they happen. Thanks for tuning in.
That's it for today on Pyrocryptic X News. Stay sharp, stay informed, and catch the next drop right here.